In what may well be one of his final articulations as President of the United States, Joe Biden wrote an op-ed piece in the Washington Post that Donald Trump won't like because Biden gets the last word regarding our day of national disgrace that, quite frankly, should have ended with this bit of congressional blubbering.
There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. No question about it. The people who stormed this building believed they were acting on the wishes and instructions of their president. And having that belief was a foreseeable consequence of the growing crescendo of false statements, conspiracy theories, and reckless hyperbole, which the defeated president kept shouting into the largest megaphone on planet Earth.
But no, as you point out, Jagger, the fix was in, and while the Capitol today will see a peaceful transfer of power, that will be a stark contrast to what happened 4 years ago today.
I'm honest, and again, I want to thank you. It's just a great honor to have this kind of crowd and to be before you and hundreds of thousands of American patriots who are committed to the honesty of our elections and the integrity of our glorious republic. All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about.
I don't know about you, but for the past few weeks, every time I go into a store and buy something with an expiration date that lands before the 20th, I get this false sense of assuredness. Maybe because I fear and worry that much will spoil after the 20th. But it won't be this man's fault. In an op-ed piece published yesterday in the Washington Post, President Joe Biden writes, "On this January 6th, order will be called. Clerks, staff, and members of Congress will gather to certify the results of a free and fair presidential election and ensure a peaceful transfer of power. Capitol Police will stand guard over the citadel of our democracy. The Vice President of the United States, faithful to her duty under our Constitution, will preside over the certification of her opponent's victory in the November election. It is a ceremony that for more than 2 centuries has made America a beacon to the world, a ceremony that ratifies the will of the voters. For much of our history, this proceeding was treated as pro forma, a routine act. But after what we all witnessed on January 6, 2021, we know we can never take it for granted. Violent insurrectionists attacked the Capitol, threatened the lives of elected officials, and assaulted brave law enforcement officers. We should be proud that our democracy withstood this assault, and we should be glad we will not see such a shameful attack again this year. But we should not forget, we must remember the wisdom of the adage that any nation that forgets its past is doomed to repeat it. We cannot accept a repeat of what occurred 4 years ago. An unrelenting effort has been underway to rewrite, even erase, the history of that day, to tell us we didn't see what we all saw with our own eyes, to dismiss concerns about it as some kind of partisan obsession, to explain it away as a protest that just got out of hand. This is not what happened. In time, there will be Americans who didn't witness the January 6th riot firsthand, but will learn about it from footage and testimony of that day, from what is written in history books, and from the truth we pass on to our children. We cannot allow the truth to be lost. Thousands of rioters crossed the National Mall and climbed the Capitol walls, smashing windows and kicking down doors. Just blocks away, a bomb was found near the location of the incoming vice president, threatening her life. Law enforcement officers were beaten, dragged, knocked unconscious, and stomped upon. Some police officers ultimately died as a result. As president-elect that day, I spoke to the country and called for peace and for the certification to resume. 4 years later, leaving office, I'm determined to do everything I can to respect the peaceful transfer of power and restore the traditions we have long respected in America. The election will be certified peacefully. I have invited the incoming president to the White House on the morning of January 20th, and I will be present for his inauguration that afternoon. But on this day, we cannot forget. This is what we owe those who founded this nation, those who fought for it and died for it. We should commit to remembering January 6th, 2021, every year, to remember it as a day when our democracy was put to the test and prevailed. To remember that democracy, even in America, is never guaranteed. We should never forget it is our democracy that makes everything possible, our freedoms, our rights, our liberties, our dreams, and that it falls to every generation of Americans to defend and protect it. 4 years ago today, the dog and I, Jagger, we're driving around Los Angeles. He really has to pee. I'm distracted because I'm listening to the radio and the descriptions of this chaos, something I've never heard before, going on at the Capitol. So we pulled over at the Veterans Cemetery. That's across from the federal building, full of homeless encampments over there in Westwood back then. Around the corner, people lined up for their COVID tests. And he needed to go, so we stopped, and in the moment, impulsively, this is what I recorded.
What I don't understand is what the hell is going on while I'm filming this. You know, Civil War, they're here. World War II, they're here. World War I, they're here. And they call home Shiloh Lane and San Juan Hill. The VA in Westwood sits across the street. Strangely, on a day like today, from the federal building that is populated by homeless people who had a home a year ago, not like him. Now he has a home. They don't. Over there, they wait in line for COVID shots in the hopes that they don't end up like one of these folks. So think of all of them when you think about how you put that check. Because it's not philosophy. It's right and wrong.
Well, you could sure hear the strained emotion in my voice, because that would be the day that it seems the American dream was officially put on life support. I remember it as though it was yesterday. Clearly, so does he. It's a hard clip for both of us to relive for reasons we can't go into right now. And I've never done a spontaneous video in a historic moment before. Well, but for that time I got the Hindenburg on my iPhone. But hey, thanks for watching that, because I think connectivity is cathartic, particularly at times like these and the ones coming up. And here at Occupy Democrats, we want you to connect, to like, to subscribe, and to share, and mostly to hang on.